Welcome to the village. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, this is part two of our discussion about wellness. Hmm, that's right. You heard me. We need to make sure we do better, right? When you know better, you do better. So we've been talking about teacher burnout and just all of the stresses and different challenges that we all face because of the pandemic. But we want to be intentional and strategic to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and on our journey to wellness, right? So on Tuesday, we had an awesome guest, Tiffany Williams, FitTeach CEO and expert of wellness and fitness and healthy eating. She poured into the village and gave us some wonderful tips on how to improve our health, right? And making sure that we are intentional about our physical, emotional, and mental health. And she just likes to call it wellness. So we're going to invite her back to continue our discussion about wellness as she shares the 6 pillars of wellness. So, again, join the discussion. I'm your girl, Dr. Roz, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC, where we coach and inspire teachers so that they can maximize their strengths, identify their leadership skills, and reignite their passion for teaching and learning. That's what we're about. So thank you for joining us. Welcome back, Tiffany Williams. I think you're still muted.
Welcome. Thank you for having me back. I'm glad to be back again. Hello, everyone. Definitely got to be here, and I'm looking
Yes,
forward
yes.
to sharing today.
So remind the village, who is Tiffany Williams and how did you come up with Fit Teach?
Yeah, I'm Tiffany Williams. I reside in the Metro Atlanta area. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I am a 21-year and proud educator. I've spent the last 10 years in coaching educators, instructional coaching, academic coaching, whichever one, same thing pretty much. Pretty much my whole career I've spent in elementary school. So I love the babies, K through 5. And I am the owner, CEO, founder of FitTeach. My company is basically dedicated to helping educators stay well. We cater toward the social emotional learning for educators. We give it to students all the time, but what about the educator? And so I'm really big on helping school districts to be more aware of the social emotional needs of the educator, because if we don't take care of that now, we are losing valuable educators every single year. And so my company is here to help districts maintain their staff by bringing more awareness to the importance of wellness and helping educators to create self-care plans that are doable each and every day.
Awesome. So you said we don't take care of the teachers, right? Then the teachers can't take care of the students. So we have to make teachers a priority.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, so one of the things that we talked about is making sure that we talk to our district leaders, our school leaders as well, and making sure they understand the importance of making teachers a priority and making sure that they, create some structures, some activities, some policies, something for teachers and making sure that wellness is a focus, right?
Absolutely. The United States spends over $7 billion a year to retrain, rehire teachers, because there are so many teachers that are exiting the profession that every single year they are spending over $7 billion to rehire people. This makes no sense.
Right.
And it's because of all the things that teachers are experiencing: burnout, they're stressed out, they're tired, and they're not well. In some cases, they're passing away. I hate to say it, they're dying also. And what's happening now is districts are having a hard time to actually finding good new talent. Teachers that are actually really qualified to be in the classrooms. They're losing really top-notch educators, and we're not getting those back. I'm someone who sits on, interview panels at my school, and when we have to rehire someone, we're having a hard time. We've been lucky these last couple of years, but it was a lot we had to go through to actually find someone of quality. And it's getting, and as someone who's been in the coaching seat for a long time and has sat on several interview panels, it's getting harder to find good people to replace phenomenal educators. And so, that the wellness piece is part of it. The policies and the curriculums and things that are being pushed down, and we're not thinking about how this is affecting the educator in the classroom, and it's causing educators to exit, and they're not returning. They're finding alternative professions. And so, when teachers are stressed, they're passing that stress. The students feel it. When we have teachers in the classroom who are not well, they are not performing at their best. They're not like I call it that fly high educator. They're not that fly high educator because they're sick. They're not well, and they're coming to work, but they're not giving. They can't serve at their best because they're not well. They're stressed out, and a lot of the things that are stressing them out are things that are happening within their school environment, and that's something that has to change. But in the meantime, while those pilot and things are being changed, one of the things that I do is help teachers to cope and to build resilience, and that's something that that we can control. We can control how we react to certain things. We can control our emotional well-being. We can do some of that we can do. Whether like we talk about, saying no, or being able to speak positive over ourselves, or taking a moment to breathe, or to take time to practice more mindfulness or meditations. And those are some of the things we can talk about today, which is the other part. There's 6 pillars that I talk about in my company in terms of self-care. In our last session, we talked mainly about the physical realm, but today we're going to talk about also the mental and emotional piece, and also some of the social self-care too, because that is important. But the 2 that I know that need to be discussed today, because that's really crucial, it affects the physical realm, and so that's what we're going to do today. If time permits, that's what we're going to do.
And it's so important because when we talk about mental health, right, and emotional health, that's kind of a topic that we don't talk about a lot, right? But it's one of those things where sometimes you go to work and you just don't feel like yourself. Or you're edgy, or you're you don't have any patience for your students, or they're like, oh, what's wrong with you, where everything gets on your nerves that day. Or maybe you come home and you just have the blues for no reason, and you're like, maybe I'm a little off, and that's because, again, like you said, you're not well, and so you can't serve the way you would normally serve at work, because you need a timeout. You need to really address those issues and really realize, what, something's going on. I need to take care of my mental and emotional health and be well. So tell us a little bit more, like, what are the signs to say, hey, something is wrong, and what can we do?
Well, one of the signs you said it, like where you're just like where you don't feel like yourself. When you don't feel like yourself, acknowledge that. Because a lot of times we'll kind of ignore it, and we'll keep going, and we'll keep going until we really can't go anymore. So now it's to a point where it's really bad, or almost too late. I share in one of my workshop a scenario about, I call her Miss Dedicated, and there's a part of that scenario the whole scenario is actually real life people that I've encountered, right, that I basically put all into Miss Dedicated. But the one in particular that I talk about during that scenario is, a colleague of mine who had a stroke at work.
Wow.
Sitting in the chair in my principal's office, and we were having a conversation, and she just stopped talking mid-sentence. She had a stroke right there. And so, but there were signs before that too. There were things like, how we take care of ourselves. So don't wait till it gets to a point where now you're really down. And so some of the things that I like when you talked about, it was something you mentioned in terms of like when you said we don't feel like ourselves. So when we don't feel like ourselves, we have to take a minute to pause. Stop. Take a minute and just really tap in. Well, what is really happening? And a lot of times we also don't. We don't, because of us. Being an educator and taking a day off from work is almost like a no-go. But in these days and times, we must be able to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to make it in today."
Right.
Take time for yourself. Take a pause, a time out to really take time for yourself. Make that doctor's appointment. Yes, it may be a hardship on the building if you have to be out and they now have to find someone to cover you. But it's either they find someone to cover you temporarily or they find someone to cover you permanently.
Talk about it.
And so one of the things I always like to share with even like the teachers in my building is that when you're sick, stay home. That's what sick days are for. If you need a personal day, a mental health day, take that day. And I want to encourage now speaking to the leaders, because as the leader in the building, I want to encourage leaders to begin to create, and I know it's tough sometimes, but to begin to create an environment where you help teachers understand the importance of their wellness, and that if they do have to call you and say, "Hey, I can't make it in today," to be okay with that and not make them feel less than or feel bad because they are taking time for themselves. In these days and times, a lot of us are dealing with a lot. I have had coworkers who have lost husbands, mothers, fathers, children. So, I mean, I have coworkers who have children who are dealing with cancer right now and things like that. And so we have to be sensitive to our staff's needs. And I will say the principal that I work with right now, he is that principal. If I call and say, "Hey, I'm Miss Kelly, Miss Williams, stay home. We'll see you tomorrow. Let us know how you feel." And then they will turn around and call me later to check on me. We have to change the culture in our buildings. It starts with the leader. And so I am pleading that because of what we are in right now with this pandemic, that we really begin to shift the culture in our buildings by allowing teachers to do something. And now we do have those who are habitual. You know who they are. But those people who are genuinely maybe not feeling well and they almost never come to you or call out, please give them that option.
Right.
The other piece too, with as far as tips for the emotional well-being of educators, is also being okay with finding you a therapist.
Please.
Because that's taboo, Dr. Roz. Like to tell someone that you're, it's open almost at my school now. We talk about it. I have one. It's for my mental well.
Me too.
I've had one on for a while, and when one don't work, I get me a new one.
Exactly.
We have to have someone we can tap into who is neutral, who's going to give us strategies. They are professionals in that field, and they have gone to school and have learned so that they can give you strategies to live a more emotionally well life. So tap into it. A lot of school districts, they have the what is it called? The employee assistance program, where you can actually get sessions sometimes for free or for discounted rates to see a therapist. Utilize those services. They work. They work. And so those are some of the things that we must do, because in the previous session we talked about the physical realm, but a lot of things that are happening in the physical realm, Dr. Roz, are due to things that are happening in the emotional realm and the spiritual realm. And mainly those mental, emotional realms, if we don't take care of that part, it's spilling over into the physical. It's turning on illnesses that don't have to be turned on because of the fact that we're not dealing with the emotional and mental wellness, self-care piece. And so I want to encourage you all who are watching this broadcast to make sure that you are tapping into your tools, therapy, even being bold enough to say no.
So important.
Breathe, speak positive over yourself. Affirmations
so positive.
Yes, I have them written on my mirror. I have them even in my wallet. I write them on a dry erase board sometime in my office, or either I have one in my bedroom that my husband and I see every day, every morning. But when you speak positive over self, it's also helping to keep you emotionally well. Speak positive over self, and definitely create those boundaries. We talked about that earlier too. Creating those boundaries. Have a cutoff. Know your limits. Be willing to exercise your boundaries when someone is pushing the limit, and you know that they're crossing that boundary. It's okay to respectfully, as I call, check them, Dr. Ross.
Check them.
You know, when I was a classroom teacher, I used to come in early in the morning to sit at my desk and meditate and pray before my students came. I had a coworker across the hall. She loved to come to my office and talk to me in the morning. So I had to tell her, I said, hey, listen, when you see my door closed in the morning and you peep in and you see me at my desk with my head down, or I'm sitting and I'm reading something, please just don't come in at that time. Please just don't knock on my door at that time until I'm done. When I'm done, you will know, because I will open my door.
Love it.
We have to teach people how to treat us.
Yes.
And so it's so important during these times for our emotional well-being.
Love it. Love it. You're preaching. You're preaching. Amen. Amen. Listen, this is good. Those of you who are just joining us, we have our wonderful guest, Tiffany Williams, CEO and founder of FitTeach. She is a wellness coach and expert. She's pouring into the village, giving us tips and advice, telling us about the 6 pillars of wellness. So she came doing part 1 and told us the importance of exercise and being intentional about our physical health. But today we're focusing on the other pillars, those things that we need to talk about, right? That are taboo: mental health, emotional health, and then also spiritual. You talked about that as well. So think about it. If you're burnt out, you're stressed, you need to pause and ask yourself, what can I do to fight against these feelings, right? Do something different. Change my mindset. Change my setting, my environment. What do I need to do differently? And one of the things that you talked about last time is take baby steps. You don't try to do everything at one time. Mm-hmm. So what can we do tomorrow to make us feel better, right? Or put a smile on our face? So you mentioned, a simple thing like breathing. Mm-hmm. So in the morning, before you get started, take a few short breaths. One of the things that I love to do is to journal as well. Mm-hmm. So journaling can be a simple act of journaling, getting your thoughts down on paper, and then maybe going back and praying about the things that you wrote on that page, right? When I journal, my journal entries are all actually prayers. So that is just something that I do to take care of my mental and emotional and spiritual wellness. So I love it. So Ms. Williams, what can someone do where they feel like, I'm not depressed. I don't think I'm depressed, but like I said before, I just don't feel right. And I need to do something different. I need to mix it up or change up what I do, my routine. I'm in a rut. I'm doing the same thing. I'm busy with work, at home, the children. What are some simple things that they can do just to kind of put a smile on their face?
Absolutely. One of the things first of all, to acknowledge that you need to change up is a step right there. That's a step by itself, to know that you need to change something up. And being open to that change. So if you're in that rut and you're feeling that way, number one is it may be to get outside your house for today. I like to take the streets, and it's because it's like my form of almost a woosah movement.
Right.
You may want to take a drive, or like if it's not too cold, I go to the park and walk. Being with nature is also part of almost a spiritual piece too. And so you mentioned journaling. I definitely recommend journaling. Journaling is part of that mental self-care. So I always encourage people to get a journal. I even have one that I created just for educators. It's a little journal. It's like a little pocket journal. You can carry with you wherever you go. And so if you're someone who's in a rut and you say, I need to do something different, one of the things I do want to encourage you, I always say too, is to also make you an appointment to see your doctor. That's another one. Because sometimes there are other things going on, and sometimes we will forego going to the doctor because we don't want to take off. But sometimes it's time to go have that visit, get you some blood work done to make sure that you're okay on that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I definitely recommend that. So that way you can get a professional opinion. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for that appointment, some of the things you can do is definitely finding a short meditation. I have some, thefitpause.com, where you can get some short meditations for your to get you started. Or on YouTube, they have a lot of, like, I started out with maybe 5-minute meditations where you just sit, find you a quiet place. If it's late after work and after everybody's gone, you close your door. If you, and maybe at home it's too noisy, or if you sit in your car for a moment and actually play it, to just take a moment to relax and breathe. There's something I also encourage people to do to immediately relieve stress and will also boost your mood. It's called box breathing. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that teach you how to, and you can do it in like a few minutes, 2 minutes, and it's basically following a box. So you can literally be in your classroom and follow a box along the window and learn how to breathe. Those are some of the things that I encourage. And if you are journaling, I definitely encourage you to write down 3 to 5 things every day that you're grateful for, because gratitude is medicine. It is medicine for your soul, your spirit, your emotional. It's so important. And so when you start expressing gratitude, you don't have time to worry about what you don't have because you woke up this morning. And so I encourage people to, when they first start out journaling, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, I gotta write. We get like the kids, you know how the kids don't want to write. And so I say, hey, get you a journal and just start out every day writing 3 to 5 things you're grateful for, and build from there. And then if you want to take it a step further, write 3 to 5 things you're grateful for and write you 2 affirmations. I am powerful. I am needed. I am beautiful. I am wealthy. Those are things that help to boost your mood and make you feel good. So if you're in a place that you feel like you're in a rut, those are some of the things I definitely encourage. And then the other piece too is even if you can, doing a little bit of yoga is helpful. It lifts the spirits. I can't wait to find me a good yoga class here in my area. Getting into some yoga or going for a walk, just something that will get you out of your normal element, and that way it will help to get you out of that space. But if you are in a deep space like that, I definitely encourage seeking someone, a professional therapist, someone that can help you to move out of that place, especially if you find that this is happening on a daily basis. It's a week or 2, 3 weeks gone by and you're still in that space. Then finding someone that can help you, or a professional, or even a coach, even someone like me, or a life coach like Dr. Ross, or someone that can help you, because you can't walk this journey alone. And I also wanted to say, to give yourself some grace. The shift doesn't happen overnight. I have a quote that I always tell clients: small changes over time lead to success. Small changes over time lead to success. So it's small things that you do over time that now become your habit, your new habits, your new lifestyle, that help you become even more successful with your wellness journey. But you have to start somewhere. You have to be kind to yourself, give yourself that grace, and know that the change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But when you just get started, and definitely seek someone to help you on the journey.
Yes. Well, we're going to end right there. I love it. So, Ms. Williams, Tiffany Williams, tell the people, how can they get more of your tips, your advice, all of your strategies for wellness?
Absolutely. I'm actually on Instagram. And I just changed so I've been on my personal one for a while, but now I have my FitTeach one, and it's called the FitTeach. I keep changing my handle, so forgive me. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to begin a new series on my FitTeach handle. It's called the FitTeach Plan on Instagram, and I'm going to have a new video series coming out where I'm going to be giving tips for educators on wellness, and it's based on the 6 pillars of self-care. And so you can find me there. If you are a school leader, teacher, and you want to bring FitTeach a FitTeach workshop or a FitTeach wellness program for the school year to your school, you can reach out to me at FitTeach.com or Tiffany Kelly at FitTeach.com. That's my email address, and I'll definitely get back to you.
Awesome, awesome. So again, thank you for joining the village. You're part of the village family now, so you're stuck with us. Thank you so much. I hope everyone feel more inspired and encouraged to do something for you, because like Tiffany Williams says, self-care and self-love is not an option. You must do it, period, right?
Period.
Period. Take care. See you next time. Thank you again for joining the village. All right, guys. Again, that's our show. And I hope you feel a little bit more encouraged and inspired to do something, to take care of you. Say no. When people are piling things on your plate, say no. Set some boundaries and take care of you. We need to be intentional about our physical, emotional, and mental health. All right. So we learned today a little bit more about those pillars of wellness, because we want you to be well. We need great teachers and educators and school leaders in our schools to serve our students. So take care of you. So continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Village LG. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. See you next time.